Tonight's show, former teen actor, casting director, talent agent, and author, Steve Stevens. Here's Jodie.
Welcome to Jodie L.A. Tonight, my guest is Steve Stevens. I want to thank you for coming.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
You are a man who has done everything in, quote, the business. I'm telling you, I read your book, and let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
You were a child actor?
Yes.
Okay, let's start with what you did.
A lot of early television, Playhouse 90, Studio One, Climax, Captain Midnight, Joe Palooka, Lone Wolf, a lot of stuff. And then, of course, the Mickey Mouse Club.
Right.
That really a part of Americana, you know, by doing that show.
How old were you when you started acting?
13.
13.
Well, I started acting when I was about 4, I guess, but professionally 13.
I see. So it was always in you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was always a ham.
Always. So did you study acting, or were you?
No, well, you know, Mom and Dad tried to get me to, you know, take dancing lessons. I couldn't dance. Take the accordion. I couldn't play the accordion. I tried trumpet. I tried singing lessons. I couldn't do anything of that, but I could act, and it came naturally. And of course, when I was a teenager, I started going to workshops and, you know, doing showcases and coaches and stuff like that. But before I became a teenager, no, just had fun with it.
You just had fun with it.
Yeah.
And then you ended up on the Mickey Mouse Club.
On the Mickey Mouse Club. Played Annette Funicello's boyfriend on our first series called Annette.
You must have loved that.
Loved it. Loved it.
All the men envied you.
Yes, they did. And,
Yes.
and I made a lot of friends. Tim Considine is still a dear friend. Tommy Cole is still a dear friend. So that was really something special in my life.
And then how long did you act for?
Till 1964. I started doing some movies, Joyride, High School Caesar, some more guest appearances, television shows. But I really didn't think I was a good actor. I was cute, I was funny, I knew how to steal things, you know. But seeing really good actors coming out of the Actors Studio in New York. In fact, I went to New York to do a Broadway show. And it didn't work out a couple of weeks after I got there, and that's a whole other story. But one of the girls who was a tech on the show was at the Actors Studio and asked if I would like to sit in and watch Lisa Strasberg act or coach, and I said yes, I would love that. So I went for like 4 days, and I got to watch some of the better young, wonderful actors that were coming up. And I realized, like Shelley Winters and Don Knight and Tony Franciosa. And I realized then that I'm not at that level or never will be. And so I came back to LA and I decided I was going to change my lifestyle.
What did you
and
do?
career. Well, I wound up getting another series, you see.
Oh, you're such a bad actor.
You know,
got
yeah, I
series.
did. I wound up getting a series called Mr. Novak, and that kept me in the business for another year. But I was making plans to become an agent. I thought that's something I could do. Never really had a formal education. I was dyslexic and was never good at school. Yeah. Not bad for somebody who wrote a book, right?
No, no.
But in those days, you know, nobody knew what that was. So I kind of faked it through school and tried college, and that just didn't work. So I knew a lot of people, a lot of producers, a lot of directors, because I worked a lot as an actor. And so I decided to become an agent.
You became an agent.
Yeah, poof.
Just like that.
Just like that.
So because you were an actor and an agent, this is why you wrote a book.
Yes.
Which I'm going to show this up to the camera here. I think you can see this. I have read your book, and I think it's excellent. I think everybody should read it that wants to get into the business. Absolutely.
Well, I wrote this because I meet a lot of actors and have throughout the years that are so unprepared that they might never have an opportunity to show their talent because they don't know the process. They're not ready. They don't know how to act in front of an agent, in front of a casting director.
Yeah.
We meet people that they have an attitude already. They're not even a member of SAG, been in town a week and a half, and they're telling you already they don't want to do television. You know, they only want to do the parts that Julia Roberts does. Well, it took her years to do those parts, and that kind of turns people off. So, being a fly on the wall, I also was a producer, executive producer on a couple of films. that I got to see the process. I got to see the mistakes that people make. I don't want them to make the mistakes I made as an actor, leaving agents that loved me because I didn't think it was happening fast enough. Know the process, know what pictures to take, worry about all the rip-offs. The word at the end of show business is business. Treat it like a business, just like 7-Eleven or the gas station or the market. It's a business, and you have to market yourself as if you are a business. And people don't know how to do that. And I believe that I'm the only person in the business that wrote a book who was a well-known teen actor, an agent for 30 some odd years, a casting director and cast major projects, produced some movies. I was a fly on the wall. And this is the course that nobody teaches at college.
No, they don't.
They don't. They just send you out. Oh, you got your degree? Poof, go out and be an actor. But they don't prepare you.
Well, the hardest thing I know with talking to young actors is credits. You know, you call an agent, someone calls you, and you want to know, what are your credits? Well, what happens if you don't have any?
Well,
how do you get them, you know?
Okay. We get pictures sent to us, sometimes 1,000 a week. We go through every single one of them. I take a look, see if somebody has maybe that certain look, something. I love character people. Then we meet them. I rarely look at a resume. I don't care if somebody's SAG, because we handle commercials as well. It's the easiest way to get somebody Taft-Hartley, get into the business commercially. People have certain things that they can put on their resume they don't realize, such as skills. If you could drive a tractor, then I'd have you take pictures in overalls and a hard hat sitting on a tractor. How many women can drive a tractor? Not many.
Right.
But if the call comes up, you're going to get the interview. Okay? Skills. Can you fly a plane? Can you jump out of a plane? Can you ski? Whatever skills like that. Do you know karate, martial arts? Can you shoot a gun? These are things that are really important on a resume, especially commercially, because they want the real thing, or they think they want the real thing. You know, do you have a license to drive an 18-wheel truck? A breakdown came out. They wanted how to be a real truck driver, how to have a license for driving an 18-wheeler. And we had a client that looks like a truck driver. Square jaw, little pockmarked face, flat top haircut, 50 years old, great smile. We sent him out. I said, if they ask you if you have a driver's license for an 18-wheeler, say, I used to, but I haven't renewed it. And if it looks like you got to drive it, well, then we'll work it out, we'll pass. Well, he wound up getting the commercial, and the commercial is sitting in a restaurant, eating food with the truck in the parking lot, but they wanted the real thing. But if I didn't have a picture of him,
you would never have gotten there that far.
Looking like, well, he's sitting in the cab of a truck with a baseball cap on and, you know, and a plaid shirt. So those are the kind of things that help people get going. And it's also, you need to take a course in a commercial course, not teaching somebody how to do a commercial, but the process, where to stand, hit the slate, introduce yourself, don't do too much, do enough. Those are the things that you need to do. So if we like somebody, we'll say, here's a list. Go do that. Then we'll sign you, because I don't have time to teach somebody. But if they have no credits and they have a right type and we like them, that's what we want to do.
Even if, how about if they're older and have no credits?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't make any difference.
It's a look.
It's a look.
Especially commercially, it's a look. What about all the senior citizens that you see on commercials today?
True.
Very few of them have ever acted before they turn 70.
Wow.
It's, wow, I'm retired, you know, I'm collecting my Social Security. What am I going to do? You know, I can walk, I can talk, I can chew gum. So they go ahead and they send the pictures out. I love senior citizens.
Yeah. Well, at least they have something to look forward to, don't
Yes.
they? They don't have to have...
And for them it's great because they don't need the money to pay their bills. They go out on the interview. They mingle with their peers, you know.
Yeah.
Some of them are adorable. And that could be with teenagers, you know, middle-aged. It really doesn't matter today. Commercially, you have to have three things commercially to make it in the business. And everything else after that is gravy. Likability, approachability, and credibility. And a smile like you've got. No, those are the things that you need commercially. Even if you see a tough biker on a commercial, boom, you know, he's looking mean and whatever, and by the end of the commercial, he's smiling.
Yeah.
Okay? It's that likability.
It's a warmth.
Yes.
Yeah. When an actor comes in to see you or someone interested in commercials, do they usually bring pictures, or is it better for the agent to tell them where to get pictures taken?
It's a great question. There are so many scams out there. Where they charge you $2,500, $3,000. These pictures are awful. Nobody should spend more than $400 for pictures, and that photographer should allow them to make as many changes as they want, should shoot outside, give them the negatives instead of charging them for a blow-up of each picture. And that should be around $400, and you get really a good photographer. But I suggest that before you get an agent, don't take and spend the money for those kind of pictures. Get a friend to take a picture. Actually, you can go to Walmart and for $3.95, sit up there. Of course, all the moms with the kids, you're going to be the only adult there. But you can sit there, get any backdrop that you want, and take a picture. Smile, it's you, okay? Now, if the agent is going to see that and like that, now you allow the agent to be part of the process of the kind of pictures that he is going to use to sell you.
Right.
There have been times that a client will just go out and take pictures without coming to us and talking to us, not making us part of that process. That's wrong. You don't want to do that either. If you have a manager and agent, that's what they're there for, to help and guide you. And I need to have the pictures that I like to sell you, not the pictures you like. Okay? That's the important thing.
So an agent is looking for something probably different than the actor.
Well, it depends. It might be the same, or it might be more. Maybe an attractive person, 45 or 50-ish, a woman, only sees herself glamorous. Well, maybe I want pictures with no makeup and a baseball cap on, or as a street person, or as a severe librarian with the hair pulled back and the glasses and whatever, because you're an actor.
Right.
Okay? And that's the problem with a lot of people. They see themselves as they look in the mirror, not the way an audience would see them, with different makeup, different ambiance around them when they're taking the pictures. I don't like pictures where it looks like you're playing dress-up. A lot of people know that in the business that my son Steve Jr. is my partner, who's a PRC, a rodeo cowboy as well, and I've rodeoed and roped for years. They will send us pictures in a cowboy hat against a blank wall, okay, in a straw, cheap cowboy hat, instead of going to a stable or an old barn or standing next to cactus to make it look real. That's what I mean. If you're going to take a picture as a cop, take it next to a cop car, not next to a blank wall. That's what I mean by real, because if it looks like you're playing dress-up, then the casting director, especially commercials, feel they're not getting the real thing. You're pretending.
I see.
Okay? It should look real, each individual picture. Unless you're what I call an ivory soap person. Very pretty, very attractive, right for soaps, and that's all you can do, that's fine. Then you only need that one attractive picture. But if you're an actor and you can do all those other things, why not have the opportunity to do them?
So what kind of pictures do you suggest? 8x10s, composites?
No, nobody uses composites today. Boy, you can tell you've been around for a long time. Okay. Yeah, I remember composites.
Oh, yeah, the difference with the commercials and acting and
It's a crossover today. It's the same pictures you'd use as a character actor for theatrical and commercials. You don't do a composite. A lot of it is online. Commercially, we as agents submit 100% online. We get a breakdown from the casting directors online. We have our clients put their pictures on a site called L.A. Casting, which they pay to be on, which we have nothing to do with. But when we get that breakdown, we pull up L.A. Casting, our clients, we submit them, the casting director pulls up the submissions, sees them, she sends us back, hopefully, an interview, and then bingo. That's how we do it in today's market. So you don't need to print up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pictures.
Don't have to go to Quality Photo.
Exactly, exactly.
Really,
yes, but theatrically, you still need hard copies. I think in a couple of years, everything is going to be online. If it is, I can submit my clients from Costa Rica on the beach with a martini and just...
Black and white or color today?
Color.
Everything is color today.
Everything is color today. I feel that everybody wanted to use color for years, but it was too expensive. Now, color with lithos instead of prints are the same as black and white, same price.
Same price.
Yeah. And color is important because somebody can look at a picture, and if they're looking for somebody that needs to match up with dark eyes or dark complexion or whatever, you can see it in color right away. Instead of having to turn over, look at a resume, it might not be on there. Make it as easy as possible for the casting directors to want to bring you in.
Do they like body shots or just head shots?
It depends. I think everybody needs 1 or 2 body shots to show what you look like. And you could do that in a business suit or a cocktail dress or whatever, even sitting down. 3/4 shot, full-length shot, we should have at least one. The rest of them are 3/4 or, headshots.
How many clients do you have?
Not very many. We have about 60 theatrically and maybe 120 commercially. Most agencies, boutique agencies, will have commercially 500, theatrically 250. I wish I had more, to be honest with you. Yeah, my clients don't, but I wish I did. But I haven't found the talent that I want to bring in, okay? To come with our office, we have to like you, and we have to be in love with your talent, okay? If I'm going to go on a limb and pick up the phone and call somebody and say, you've got to bring this person in, they're great, they're this, they're that, I have to believe it. Okay, and I was never a good actor, so it's so I can't pretend that somebody is great if they're not. Okay, but they hear my enthusiasm and Steve Jr.'s and then take it from there.
Well, speaking of your bad acting that you claim, I know we have some pictures to show. I'd like to see some of your pictures of when you were acting. I think they're going to put them up.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
That's Zorro.
Wow, you were handsome, huh?
Thank you. Thank you. Little Michael Landish there.
I was going to say that.
A lot of people thought that I looked like Michael Landon.
And then we have several. I know what.
Okay, that's also from Zorro. With Gene Sheldon, Guy Williams. 10 years after this picture was taken, I did this episode. Guy Williams became a client.
Really?
Yes.
What a.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, it's a small world, isn't it?
That was terrific.
Yes.
Yeah. There I am on the Mickey Mouse Club with Tim Considine. Now, a lot of people remember Tim from the Hardy Boys.
Of course, with David Stollery.
David Stollery.
And Tommy Kirk, right?
No. Tommy Kirk and the Hardy Boys, and then Spin and Marty with David Stollery.
David Stollery, right.
And there I am with Annette
Yeah.
on that series, playing her boyfriend.
Oh, I sure remember that.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was, boy, that brings back wonderful times. Working with Betty Hutton, to me, was one of the highlights of my life. She was a great talent. This was a sitcom. Only lasted a couple of shows, but she was wonderful. That's The Human Jungle, playing a punk again. I believe I was 13 years old, 14 years old at that time. For some reason, besides the Mickey Mouse Club and the Betty Hutton Show, most of the stuff I did, I played young, tough guys. I don't know why. I was anything but that, but the industry seemed to think I had that moxie.
Yeah, that macho look.
Macho, moxie, that kind of thing. High School Caesar was the only movie that I actually had a starring role in, and I played a nerd. I never played a nerd before, and it was the top drive-in box office movie, 1960. That is Joyride. Again, I'm playing a tough guy, a punk. Why not? Here. This is one of the first jobs I had. There I am working with the Bowery Boys. In fact, about 14 or 15 years after this, I was Hunts Hall's agent.
Oh, really?
It's amazing how many people that I worked with, that I became their
great.
agent. Thank you for showing those. That's
well,
neat.
that was exciting. It's just, and you haven't stopped. That's what's so great. You just keep, plugging in, and you stay in the business.
Energy bunny, right?
Yeah.
Keep going. Well, what else am I going to do?
I don't know. A lot of people retire and sit on their ass. I don't know.
Well, the business of show business is the most incredible business in the world. Not necessarily the personalities in it, but it is an exciting business. The wonderful perks you get, along the way.
It keeps you young.
Oh, it does. And I told my Rosemary, no matter what happens from here on, we've had one hell of a ride. And it's wonderful. And I've met great people and got to work with my heroes and my idols. Got to work with George C. Scott. I was his casting director for 4 years. What an honor that was. Got to work with Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. I mean, what more can a kid ask for,
Yeah, you did it all and met them.
And met them and worked with them and became friends, and that's exciting. I was a Special Olympics coach for quite a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A horseback coach, equestrian. And they taught me a lot. They taught me you just keep going. Doesn't matter, you get old and you get arthritis and your knees hurt, it doesn't matter.
You just keep
They have so much try, and every time something happens and I want to get up in the morning, maybe I'll go to work, take a day off, I think about those kids, and boy, that gives me that extra push.
Where were you born? Born and raised here? or-
No, actually, I was born in Mount Vernon, New York.
Oh, New York.
And then well, I don't consider to me, to be a New Yorker or a citizen, you got to be there a long time. I was there, I think, 6 years, and then we moved to Corpus Christi, Texas. And from Corpus Christi, we came out here in '49.
In '49, and then you lived. Where'd you go to school?
I went to Hollywood High, of course, Hollywood Professional, you know, your alma mater as well,
Yes.
getting ready for our big reunion.
We are. What a shame that there's not a school like that today. There isn't, is there?
No.
So what do kids do in the business that work?
Well, I think that now they understand it a little bit more. You have your teachers on the set, which they always did, but a lot of kids are homeschooled, which you never heard of that, you know, in those days. I don't know if a school like that would work today because of being homeschooled, and especially if somebody's on a series. They don't need to go to school. They can go to regular school, and a regular school accepts them today. They know how to judge that they're not going to be here, give them their work, help them with their tests, that they are going to have a teacher on the set. That's why I wound up at Hollywood Professional, because at Hollywood High, they said, you're taking too many days off. I said, I'm not taking too many days off. You're giving me, or my teachers are giving me my assignments, and then I have a teacher on the set, and whatever. No, that doesn't count, you know, so they didn't quite understand it.
So you went to a school, or we both did, and
Yeah.
we had to go for 4 hours, and they worked with us, and that was great.
Right.
And they just don't have that today.
No.
But,
No.
Now, are most of your clients young, older, or do you have everything?
I have, let's see, from 5 to 89.
Oh, you got them all.
Yeah, sure. I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
You know, I don't specialize in anything. For years, I specialized in cowboy and cowgirl actors. I think at one time I represented almost everybody that ever starred in a Western television series. But when Westerns started to, you know, disappear, I needed to diversify a little bit. So we kind of opened it up to that. But I enjoyed representing the Chuck Connors and Slim Pickens. And, you know,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what made you decide to write a book? And when did you write the book?
Well, I wrote the book last summer. Things were slow, and I was starting to get depressed. And I decided, instead of getting depressed, get even. By meaning get even was, not only was I going to write a book that's going to help young actors, but I have a problem with managers. Some managers. I have a problem with some assistant casting directors who've been in the business a week and a half with an attitude. So I thought I'd get even. And I'm sure that they have their agent problems. The managers do. Then let them write a book. So I sat down. I wrote it. I got together with a young man, John Cady. By being dyslexic, I needed somebody to make sure that, you know, the I's were dotted and T's were crossed. And he inspired me that there would be people out there that could use the information that I have, and I shouldn't keep it a secret.
Well, you
know,
covered
bring
everything.
it out there.
You really did.
I think I did.
Yeah.
Even for people that don't want to come to L.A. and be actors. If you own a cleaning store or a car wash in Seattle and they're doing a movie there, I tell you the secret on how you can get a piece of the action instead of that one little click,
Right.
you know, that seems to get every dollar from every movie that's in that area. When I cast several movies, they're on location. So I got to spend time with the location manager and the production manager, so I got to see how that worked. And there's secrets on how you can make that work, and I put that in the book as well. And I think the book's done with humor, too. It's not a school book.
Right.
It's not where you're bored and it's just ba 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 ba. It's fun. You know, tell some jokes. There's some, you know, some things in there that I was embarrassed when they happened, but now they're funny now. So it gives people an insight to see how I transferred through the different years and progressed. And not to make those mistakes, as I said before.
Well,
Don't
you start
make
like
those
from the
mistakes.
beginning, which I liked, on how to not to make the mistakes and how to do a resume and have a right attitude, and that's important.
There are too many books out there. I'll give you an example. When Tiger Woods came along playing golf, I never played golf in my life. I never even played miniature golf. But my wife Rosemary got hung on Tiger Woods, so we're now watching the golf games. And you call it games? I don't even know what you call golf.
Yes.
Okay. But not once did the color people say to the audience what an eagle was, what a birdie was, all that terminology.
Mm-hmm.
And if they would have, I would have enjoyed watching it much more and got more hooked on it. They just assumed that I knew.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in most of the books for young actors, they don't start number 1, they start like 7 or 8. I start when they get off the bus on Vine Street. I start right from the beginning. They don't know anything. I have to assume they don't know anything. And that's where I feel my book differs from the other books that are out there.
Yeah. We hear dreadful stories of young kids that really don't know Hollywood, and they come and they end up doing, you know, X-rated films because they're promised they can get into the business that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's awful.
Well, I think today a lot of people come here wanting to get into X-rated films. To be honest with you,
Yeah, well, that's another thing, right?
And that business has a close tie to the legit business. You have a lot of porn stars that work on a lot of legit television shows.
So today, can you be in the Screen Actors Guild, and can you be an AFTRA and be a porn star?
Yes,
You can.
you can. I don't think that being a porn star that you have one of those guild cards,
Mm-hmm.
Porn America, or, you know, but see, the only problem you would run into is the porn films are not SAG films, signatory. So if you're a member of SAG, you can't work in a non-signatory film unless you're what they call financial core, which I have in my book, which
You
allows
do.
somebody to work union and non-union, and that's for somebody that needs to support their family, and they find a non-union film in another country or even in another state, right-to-work state, where SAG says if you're a member, you can't work in that film. But if you're financial core, you can do
You
both
can.
and help support your family.
You realize that we have to roll it up? Can you believe this?
Wow, that's fast.
But I do want to recommend this book. So you want to be in show business, and obviously people can probably know where they can get it, but if anybody wants to know at the end of the show, you'll see my email, gijodie@aol.com, and I'm going to show the book right there. And if you want to get in touch with me, I'll tell you exactly where you can get the book. And it really is, I mean, sincerely a great book. And
Thank you.
I really think everybody should read this, well, even if you don't want to be in show business.
Well, it's got some
Yeah.
fun stories and a lot of name stars, and some of the pictures that you showed are in there as well.
Yeah, because I mean, even if people don't want to be in it, people love it, right?
You bet.
I want to thank you so much
Oh,
for coming
thank you,
on.
Jodie.
And I wish you all the best with this
Thank
book. I
you.
really do.
Thank you. Appreciate
It's been
it.
great.